Test, test. Welcome out to Kojak's Live on this beautiful Tuesday night. Beautiful Tuesday night. We got cards in the air, joining a game that's already in progress. Joining a game, like I said, that's already in progress. If you're not out and about, head on out to Kojak's Poker Club. Just started a second 1-2 table. So tonight we're going to be streaming 1-2 No Limit Hold'em. And about to join me in the booth is Mr. Chris Carter for just a few moments. You joining or playing?
Well, I'm on the list, but it's full, it looks like.
Yeah, and we just started a second 1-2 table out on the floor. Let me... Okay, yeah. So we are actually live at Kojak's on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday night. Flip on over, say welcome out to Kojak's Live. Mr. Carter pulling his chair in here. He'll be joining on the booth. It looks like we have an all-in and a call. Ace, King, 10, 6, 2. Cards flipped up. We've got Ace 9 versus 2 pair of King 10. And there we go, Mr. Carter. You are live on the mic.
What was that, hand number 1?
That was, well, they've actually been playing for a little while, so there's actually some bigger chip stacks. We got one player, Mr. Woody, sitting there in seat number 6. He's got $645 sitting in his stack.
Okay.
So we just got the game going. This it looks like seat number 8, Mr. Schuyler's rebuying for $300.
The max.
The max. The max. And just like that, we're going to flip it back around. What's up, River King Poker LFG? I can't say what that means, but let's go. We'll leave out that little initial.
Can I?
No,
okay.
no. We got to leave that word on out of here. We got to leave it on out of here. So if you're joining us, you like poker just as much as we do. This is Kojak's Poker Club and Kojak's Live. You got Chris Carter and Mr. Charlie Boy sitting in the booth. No George tonight, but we've got even the greatest in here.
Came out of retirement for a minute.
Came out of retirement for a minute. So here we go. Action's moving around. Ace 9 in Woody. He's under the gun. He's going to, or Ace 5, sorry. He's going to let that go. And even Ace 9 goes in the muck. Wow, man. I might have raised 5X with that. Coach with that 8-6.
Might be why we're in the booth.
Yeah, it might be why we're in the booth. Rob looks down. King Deuce suited. Hits gone. Chris comes around. King 10. So 2 kings are already gone.
Yeah.
2 kings are already gone. Andrew's going to look down at Jack Deuce. That's good enough. The Choctaw suited nuts.
That's the winner.
That's the winner. I like 8-6 suited, Chris.
I like 8-6 suited. Yeah. I'm just feeling Jack Deuce.
Feeling Jack Deuce. I like it. I like 8-6. Oh, I really like 8-6 now.
I like 8-6 a lot now. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning your way.
So here we go. Flops open-ended, and he's going to C-bet on it. Looks like 15 or 20 going out there in the pot.
15.
Fiddling, as Basil calls it. Chris makes the call with King 10, kind of floating.
Yeah. Overs to the board.
It's now going to be heads up. A 3 on the turn. No help to Chris. Coach doesn't know this, but a big bet right here could get Chris off.
Yeah, and
look at that, 14 ounce.
And a raise would make Coach pucker up a little bit. If Chris has the wherewithal to come over the top here.
Oh, that would be solid. And he doesn't.
That would be solid.
So Coach just wins a pot with 8 high, and that's the kind of games you can expect at Kojak's Poker Club. 8 high, nobody's scared. Coach is up. Coach sat down with 300. He's up to $429.
And Chris had the hand. He could have made a play if he wanted to. I'm not sure what the call on the flop was.
It was 15 and call.
No, I'm saying I don't know why he called the
I got you.
Why he called the flop bet. Yeah, I'm on this list, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your seat's ready to be open. We've got a new 1-2 table that's just now opening up.
Is it a move into this one?
Yes, sir. It is going to be a move into this one.
Okay. I love the 1-2s. That's the greatest thing we've done since this place started.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. You don't have to worry about the really deep pockets coming in and just overbuying the table.
Yes.
And the value is, we got pocket aces.
We got American Airlines in seat number 1, Mr. Rob, both red. Both red as in he read them, and both red as in R-E-D and R-E-A-D.
I kind of want somebody to slip up here just to watch the fireworks. Oh, Woody's calling.
He's got the Basil, Jack 10, and if he calls, Schuyler's definitely calling. Schuyler's already in. He's bought in twice, so he is going to be a little more frisky till he catches up.
If.
Look at that.
Jack 7-7.
So you've got aces, you've got top pair, and you've got trip 7. So here we go. Woody's going to lead out.
Fireworks. This is better than the 4th of July.
Oh my gosh, this is the type of action that's going to be here. If Skylar knew that Rob was holding aces at this point, he would just flat it, and that's
Just flat. Yeah, just flat here. You have to just flat. He did. He
and
just
now
flatted.
Rob is going to call. He's not going to get too frisky. He's scared somebody possibly has the 7.
An ace would be dirty here.
Or what about a 10?
10. Yeah. Oh, you called it. Charlie's getting good at this. He called it.
You would think that I could see the future. Oh my gosh, top 2 for Woody, and Aces is in last place.
Yeah.
Watch an ace come on the river.
That would be amazing. If you call this one, I quit.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to get called. He's going to get called in at least one spot.
He might get called in too, because Rob may think he has best
2 pair aces.
Because he's ahead of Jack 10.
Right. If he puts him on Jack 10, he definitely calls. Because he's ahead of Jack 10.
Holy cow. He's asking how much the bet is.
Wow. Oh, he called.
Oh,
He moved all in. He moved all in.
and now Woody's got to fold it. He's got to assume somebody has the 7. All in and call.
Maybe.
So it's 250 all in. Rob calls.
This is a 1-2 game with a $726 pot so far.
Welcome out to Kojaks. Welcome out to Kojaks. You got to play with the soundboard every once in a while. And Woody's got to fold it. And he shows top 2 folded.
Great fold. Great.
Or not top 2. Yeah, top 2 he shows folded. And he says, here it is. I've got a 7 and an 8. And Rob's going to say, man, wow. Welcome out to Kojaks Poker Club. $726 in the pot. Woody's in a massive lead, almost a 5-1 lead right here.
Great laydown by Woody, though. That's a good laydown. Very good laydown.
And they ran it twice, 3 and a 3. So he picks it all up.
Yeah. Scooped it.
Oh, man, that is brutal. You're not supposed to lose with aces that way. You're not even supposed to lose with Jack 10 that way.
Yeah.
On a board like that?
I'd like to know what Rob's thinking about, because Rob should be able to get away from that. He plays a little tighter than that. He had to put him on nothing there, or he had to put him on Jack 10.
Yes.
And he thought his 2 pair were good.
And if he did put him on Jack 10, that's exactly what Woody had.
Yeah.
But that's just not what Skylar had.
Well, and you could almost think, yeah, one of them has that. The other one, somebody's got to have
Even 8-9.
Right.
Even 8-9 suited at that point.
Correct. There's a lot that beat aces out there. I've told my son forever that all pocket aces are after the flop is just a pair.
Yes, it's just a pair. And it's even worse in PLO.
Yeah.
Aces, and if you pot it with aces, and I knew you had aces, and I have 9-10 Jack Queen or 7-8 9-10, I'm gonna push it every single time.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'll take aces every time and all day long and twice on Sundays, but yeah, that's still live.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you turned yours off.
Oh, no, no, no. No, we're all live.
I've been sitting here silent.
Are we live? We are live.
I thought you turned the mics off to go handle the problems. I've been sitting here silent, just breathing heavy. I'm sure the people appreciate that, hearing me just.
Here in about 15 minutes, we're gonna miss one hand, but we are back on it. We're back at action here. That looks like at least $40 out there. Flop of 7-4-9. Yep, you're good to go when you're ready.
Okay, well, thank you. I'll come back shortly.
So there's a jack on the turn, on the river, 3 diamonds, ace 9 versus ace 5. Skylar is on a heater. He's pulling out. That's 75. There it is, $75. I don't think there's any way that Mr. Chris Gwynn can call this. And he's smiling. He knows he's got to be beat out there. Even if it's by 7-4, 0 chance he calls this. He's looking down to see. Oh, he might call. Oh, my gosh, he does call. He checks him just to see if he truly has it. He sees 2 pair, has him beat. His biggest nightmare just became a reality as Skylar pulls in another pot, $314. So that's how fast you go from being down to being up. Skylar's now up $581. He's got $901 sitting inside of his stack. And button moves around the table. We've got, as you can hear me count, we've got over $2,000 sitting on this 1-2 table. Game started right before we went live. And if you're just joining us, this is a 1-2 version of our Kojaks Live No Limit Hold'em. We've got a second table just starting to run out on the floor. It is a 1-2 must move to keep this game full. Button moves around. Andrew looks down, 65. David, 75. Woody, 69. Bang's got queen 3 suited. Skylar's got the infamous Kojak hand. Don't forget, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow night, our PLO $2,000 guaranteed starts at 6 p.m. First buy-in is on Kojaks, and if you want more chips, you can purchase some more chips. $15 lead out by Skylar on a flop of 5 deuce deuce. I can see him possibly getting a call from Andrew and David. No, we got backdoor spades for Skylar, but no 4 to the flush yet. I don't think Bang will make the call. He does let the fold, so we're going to have 3-way action. King, Jack, 6-5, and 7-5. Skylar's looking for a king or a jack on the turn, and it's a 9. No help to either one of those. 7-5 is still in the lead at this moment. Oh, no, it's a tie. It's a split pot right now. David's looking for something like a 3 or a 4 to come. Grabbing some chips, looks like $33. And once again, he is in the lead again. Oh, and there it is. I didn't get to see it. He did make the call, and he is now in the lead. Skylar just took the pot away on the river. He led out with 33 and got the call, and now he ups at $130. If David thought he was in the lead the whole way, why would he think the king on the river changed it? That's the hard part here. You wouldn't suspect him pushing with just king jack, and it looks like he's pulling chips out to make a call. He's going to be extremely upset if he does see this river, and he does say call, and he flips over and he says, dang, he got there on the river. I think Chris actually just headed outside to play. Thank you, Miss Nikki. And so just like that, Skylar picks up his 3rd or 4th hand in a row. When you're on fire, El Fuego, he is on fire, and the pot is pushed over to seat number 8 again. Can't thank all of you enough for coming out and watching us tonight. Show us some love in the chat if you're out there. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us. Our room wouldn't be what it is without you, and we truly appreciate everything that you guys do for us. So we've got 2 games running right now, both of them 1-2 no-limit hold'em games, and the action is there. As you can see on this table, Skylar now has $1,134 in his stack. He is up $515. Let's get it started in here. His VPIP is 57%. So as you can tell, the action is out there. The action is ready to go. So we've got 1, 2, 3 players that are on the positive side. We've got 2, 4, 5 players that are on the negative side. So, oh, and look down. Look at what we got here. David, after just taking that terrible beat on the river, wakes up with pocket aces. Raises it to just $10, and Skylar's got the exact same hand. Not the same suits, but the exact same hand. King Jack, the Kojak. Coach looks down at King 5. His king is dwarfed. His kicker is dwarfed. Trying to get old Jeff to come in here and commentate a little bit with me. Shaking his head no. Flop comes out 10, 8, 5. Coach picks up bottom pair. It is way behind the aces of David. He may push all. Oh, no, he's going for max value. He says, I am all in. Might get a call by Skylar. Skylar might want to finish him off. Mortal Kombat style finishing move. Let's see if he can do it. He does have the 2 overs. And it looks like he's going to do it. $41 to make the call. And Coach makes the call also. So pot of $153. Turn card comes out, a 6 of clubs. That actually helps out Skylar's hand. He now has the jack high flush draw. He is in last place right now. Working on the side pot, there is $50 for the side. Coach is going to let it go. So now we are all in, heads up. Aces versus king. Oh my gosh. Nope, that doesn't do it though. I thought that was a club when I first saw it. So David pulls in a win, $153 heading over into his stack. And King Jack cannot do it twice in a row. So Skylar finally loses a hand. And David doubles up after that terrible beat on the hand before. But moving on around to Mr. Bang, went to showdown. What percent do you think Skylar has gone to showdown tonight? We're on hand number 8. Closest person in the chat gets 2 free hours at Kojak's. Closest person in the chat to what percentage Skylar has gone to showdown. Let me rephrase that. Closest percentage without going over. So let's see what you got. Chat it up, guys. Hand number 9, moving around, and the percentage that we're going to use is what's there right now. All right, we got Christina saying 88%. We got Moss saying 80%. What's going on, Mr. Moss? How's it going, Miss Christina? We'll give y'all just a few more seconds. I'm setting my timer on 30 seconds. Closest person to it without going over gets 2 free hours at Kojak's Poker Club for cash play. Let's see what we got. Let's see. We've got 2 votes so far, and we've got a pot moving around. Mr. Moises, what's going on? Mr. Gonzalez, 86%. We got Rocio saying 90. So we've got 4 votes right now. Here's Randall Brockington, 75%. And we've got 10 seconds left. If you want to get your vote in for 2 free hours, let's go. Let's go. So I'm going to move it over. The pot is closed on this. And if you can see right here, 100% went to showdown. So let's see. We've got a 90% by Rocio and Marco Benavides. You are the winner of 2 Kojak's free hours. Let's get that in the chat, and I will get it added in. 2 free hours headed your way. Congratulations. We will have some more of those tonight. Congratulations. Let me flip around to the computer behind us, and we'll get it right in there for you. Congrats. That's right. There we are. Marco, it's on your account. Select promotion, reward points, comp hours, and they are yours. 2 of them is headed in there. All right, they're on your account. So when you're ready to come use them, head on in. Always, Mr. Marco. So here we are, hand number 10, hand number 10. And if y'all were smart, y'all peeked at that because we're going to go who has, here in a little while, we're going to go who, maybe something, I can't tell you yet. We'll have to see. Flop comes out, ace, 8, 10, Skittles on the suits. We've got Jack 10, we've got Jack 9 open-ended for Mr. Chris Gwynn. We've got Queen 10, and we've got a 4 hearts on the turn. That doesn't do too much help. And we got the mysterious hand from Angelo. This is the guess your hand. This may actually be the hand that freezes. If it does if it does freeze, we will be back to action. We only missed 1 hand. No worries. We'll keep the action going. And if you're not out here at Kojak's, we do have 2 tables running now. We've got 1 seat left open on the outside must-move table, but we've actually got dealers here, and we are ready for more action. Skylar gets out of the way with his Jack 10. And Coach gets out of the way with his Queen 10 to a $15 bet. 3 of diamonds on the river. Chris does not get there with his up and down straight draw. And is he going to show? He shows, but I can't see it. I can't see it. So once again, if you're not doing anything tonight, head out to Kojak's. We've got a beautiful list, beautiful games running. Any word on bomb pot 1, 2? No bomb pots. No bomb pots right now, Mr. Moses. We're going to keep those out of the game. We might be running some tables. If you're interested, we can actually build a 1-2 table with some bomb pots. We got to put a couple rules and regulations on there, but that doesn't mean we can't do it. We want to thank everybody for coming out and watching tonight, taking part in something that I actually love to do, and we love to put on for you guys. Let you see who's in the commentating booth. It's just me right now, just Charlie, and you're out at Kojak's Live. Something special's going on, and this is actually going to be the hand that it's going to freeze on. So we'll just keep you in here. Just awarded some free hours to Mr. Marco Benavides for his guess on the highest went to showdown percentage. We'll do a couple more of those tonight. And even though the hand is frozen, the cameras are still moving, so we can actually see how the action's going. It's going to stay on these 2 guys, no big deal. But to give you word on something that's coming up on the 23rd of this month, I don't know if you can actually see this. Let me scoot in a little bit. We've got the West Texas Poker Championship Series. Over 100,000 guaranteed going out starting May the 23rd, heading all the way into June the 4th. Let's go. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll get you one going. If you want to get one going, head on in, Moses, and we will set it up for you. I can promise you that. But back to the series. We've got the series starting May the 23rd. May the 23rd, rolling all the way through June the 4th. We're going to start it off with a mystery bounty tournament. That's right. You don't know how big they're going to be, but we're going to have some big mystery bounties in there. On the 24th, we're going to have the $100 no-limit hold'em rebuy tournament. Once you sit down, you are seated, you rebuy your chips, you keep firing away, and hopefully you come away as the winner. On the 25th, we have the infamous No Limit Hold'em Freeze Out Tournament. 1 buy-in, 1 chance, no mistakes. You've got to play it cautiously, carefully, and hopefully come out on top. And then with every West Texas Poker Championship Series, on the 26th and the 27th, we have 4 flights to the No Limit Hold'em Texas stack. As you know, everything in Texas is bigger, and so your chip stacks start even bigger. $240 buy-in gets you a ton of chips and a chance to build that stack to over a couple million chips. And day 2 will be on Sunday at 2 p.m. Also on Sunday at 2 p.m., we have the $50 Frenzy No Limit Hold'em tournament. Then the next week starts the bigger action tournaments. We start off with a PLO on Monday at 6 p.m., $360 buy-in. That's PLO 4-card high. On Tuesday, we've got the round of each. We're going to mix up 2 games, No Limit Hold'em and PLO high. Buy-in will be $240 on that. Then on Wednesday at 6 p.m., we've got the $480 Big'O tournament. That's 5-card high-lows. Some people call it Congress. Some people call it Big Mitt. Some people call it Big'O. Whatever you want to call it, 5-card action guaranteed to keep you insane because on every street, your outs change. Looking for the high and the low on that. Then on Thursday, we've got our $1,000 no-limit hold'em big high roller tournament. Sorry, I didn't mean to say the word big. We've got the high roller tournament, non-stop ending action. We got a guarantee of $20,000 on that. Then Friday, we've got 2 flights of the main event, $360 buy-in, $25,000 guaranteed. Flight A at 2 p.m. on Friday, the 2nd of June. Flight B at 6 p.m. on Friday, the 2nd of June. Then on Saturday at 2 p.m., we've got Flight C. At 6 p.m., we've got Flight D. And if you're lucky enough to bag it up, then you head on over to day 2 starting Sunday at 2 p.m. Now that we're back to action, we're going to flip it back over here. We got 3 players going to the flop. Flop comes out Jack of Spades, 10 of Hearts, 5 of Diamonds. Andrew picks up middle pair with the top kicker. Woody picks up an open-ended straight draw, King, Queen, Jack, 10. And Angelo doesn't have too much of it, and he's going to let it go. Woody's going to lead out with 15 actions on Andrew. So we are now going to be heads up, $49 setting in the pot. Heck yeah, I want Chick-fil-A. There's the king on the turn. That gives top pair on over to Woody. However, Andrew's got that queen to the gut shot straight. By who? Nikki's trying to pull a fast one in here, telling me somebody paid for my food, but they haven't yet. So if you haven't been out to Kojak's, we actually have several brushes out here. And when you get hungry, they let you vote. But they sometimes they want to go where they want to. But tonight she went to my favorite restaurant in the world. It's Chick-fil-A, and I'm getting a #1 with extra pickles. How does it say it?
#1, extra, extra, extra pickles.
That's right. You got to love some, well, we're just going to leave that alone. Got to love some pickle slices on your sandwich. I wish they did fried pickles the same way they do their chicken.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Nikki. Appreciate you. So heading on over to hand number 11. Button moves around. It looks to be on Mr. Andrews setting in seat number 4. Once again, this is a crazy action-packed game. We've got $1,000 in one stack, $582 in one stack, $421, $450, and it moves all around. Bang looks down, King 7 offsuit. He's not going to mess around with that. Skylar's been quite active in this game. We'll cover that. And it looks like he's grabbing some raising chips with 97. Coach has the best hand in poker. He knows that's my favorite hand. That's the only reason he's calling that. And if you don't know me, you're going to learn real fast. 5-3 is the best hand in poker. You play it like aces. Coach should have raised it up to about $25 right there. Easy hand to get away from if you miss. Sneaky hand if you hit it all. So we're going to have 5-way action. $30 in the pot, heading to the flop. Remember, 5-3 is the best hand in poker. Oh, and it whiffs it this time. That's okay. Oh. That's right. That's right. So we've got Queen 10, 6 on the flop. David picks up top pair. That's really anybody that picked up anything. Skylar does have a gut shot to the 8. So once again, thanks for joining us at Kojak's Live. We are looking for some people to help us out with the stream. If you're sitting around bored and you know a lot more than I do about poker, hey, come on up here. Join me in the booth. We'll see what we can get going. Bet of $15 by David with top pair. Skylar does fish around for that 8. However, you see it right here. Angelo's got an 8, and David's holding one of the 8s, so he is halfway limited to what he needs. He's only got 14% to hit this 8. That means 2 are left in the deck. There's the 10. That might be a scare card for the pair of queens. Let's see if David checks this. He's not going to check it. He's going to lead out. Oh, he's thinking action still on him. He hadn't done anything, so he does check. Here's a $20 bet. Skylar's representing that 10. Does it scare or will it scare Mr. David? No, it doesn't. 4 of spades on the turn. The gut shot does not get there. David is in the lead, and it looks like he's grabbing chips. He puts a bet out. And it looks, oh, we may have a raise. We may have a raise. That's exactly what it was. $30 bet raised to 70. And he did make the call. Skylar did everything he could to win that pot. He tried to steal it away from Mr. David, but not today. $240 is heading back over to David. Remember, that's a little sweet revenge from that king on the river about 6 or 7 hands ago. That's a little sweet revenge. And David pulls his stack up. David now has right around $280. He is $5 up from what we started the stream with. So just like that, he was down to $41 about 4 or 5 hands ago, and he is now up $5. That's how fast it can turn around in this no limit hold'em game. 1-2. We do have 2 tables. There is only 1 seat left open outside. It filled up fast. Button moves around, so if you're not out doing anything, head on out to Kojak's Poker Club. 7-4 bang. That's Mr. Hinton's favorite hand. And he's going to let it go. He doesn't like it. Skylar's going to look down at 10-5 offsuit. That's not going to be good enough to make the call. I am going to switch chairs right here. I am sinking. Rob looks down at ace-9. He makes the call. By call, I mean raise. So here we are. We've got 5-way action. Queen Jack, Queen 8 suited, Ace 9, 6-4 from Mr. Angelo. I don't know. Flop comes out 7 of spades, King of clubs, 10 of clubs. 7, 10, King. And David's got that open-ended to Broadway. He's going to lead out with $20. Sorry, I had the mic a little off my mouth. I apologize about that. He's going to lead out, and he does get a caller. 7 of diamonds on the turn, heads up. Queen 8 versus Queen Jack. Nobody's got anything. David doesn't know he's that far ahead, or does he? He's grabbing some green chips and some other chips to go along with it. He lays out a bet, and Woody's going to look at his hand, and that's might be good enough. $40. I think that's going to do it. Woody's got about 520-ish sitting in his stack, maybe a little bit more. And just like that, it is folded and gone, and David pulls in back-to-back. We've seen a lot of back-to-back tonight. Skylar won 3 or 4 in a row, and now David did the same. Playing around looking for another question I can ask, so we're going to have a question. It is now 8:02 p.m., and 8:15, I'm going to set my alarm on my phone, set my timer for 13 minutes, and 8:15, we'll have another question ready to go out to you guys. 13 minutes, correct? Yes. So, everybody out in the chat, hey, I just got a question. What are your favorite hands? You already know my favorite hand. I tell you every time it comes up, best hand in poker is 5-3. I know nobody believes it, but what are y'all's favorite hands? I'd like to see kind of how the variance goes. Nobody really likes pocket aces because I've lost more money playing poker with pocket aces than any other cards, but what are y'all's favorite hands? Coach looks down at ducks. As Jack Keene says, wired queen, queen deuce unsuited. Is there a story behind that, or is it just one of your favorite hands? I like 5-3 unsuited. Jack 9 from Mr. Marco. Suited or unsuited, Marco? And Christina, I'd like to know if there's a story behind that queen deuce. So we've got 4-way action headed to the flop. I'll keep an eye on the chat. 4-way action, $24 setting in the pot. Flop comes out. I see a jack, I see a 10, and I see a 6. All Skittles on the suits. Nobody hits a pair except for the guy that held it right at the start. Pocket deuces. King on the turn, king on the turn, and still nobody has it. We've got two gut shots to the queen. Sorry, 3 gut shots to the queen. 3 players hold an ace. I've busted a few hands with it. Yeah, that's kind of how one, you probably busted aces with it too, haven't you? It's always, this may be the sick part of me, but it's always fun to bust aces with something that they would never see coming. So here we go. Angelo bet 15, and he's going to pull it in. Coach might kick himself if he sees that. Yep, I like to hear that. Aces, it's so satisfying to bust aces. So we got about 11 minutes before we do ask another one of those free hour questions. So you see Miss Nikki in there. I was telling you, she came in here and asked me, well, I say first because now I see her here, but this is also 15 minutes ago that what we're watching. So she actually took everyone's order, then she came and asked me last. It doesn't make me feel as special, but she did. She's taking Chick-fil-A orders right now. Got to appreciate her helping us out. So where's everybody from in the chat now that we're talking about your favorite hands? Everybody local out in Midland, Odessa? Or are you out from San Angelo, out from Lubbock? Where are we watching from tonight? Let us know where you're at. Rob looks down, wired eights. We call them snowmen. And I know it does say he only has $2 in his stack. Marco's out in Midland. I know it does say Rob only has $2 in his stack. We're updating that, but remember there is a 15-minute delay, so we will get that fixed. Ira Ann, Mr. Kenny, welcome out from Ira Ann. I think I know where that is because whenever I take 349 south heading to Interstate 10, I take that way to head out to Houston. I think I drive by, it's the Ira Ann Braves, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. Andrew looks down at Queen Jack suited. That's a very pretty hand. Skylar's got 5-4, same suit. And Skylar's got King 7, same suit. So I don't think we'll see very many spades. If we do, we're going to see a lot of fireworks happen on this, sir, on this hand. Iran Braves, I thought so. So we've got 3 players in the pot, all red, which you kind of suspected. 13 cards of each suit, 6 of them sitting right out here. So I didn't figure there would be too many, and Chris is going to let his 5-4 go. She gone. She gone. Action's moving around. This is where we had that board trouble I was telling you about. So once again, welcome out to Kojak's Live. Action moves on around. We see an add-on coming on that table. Muck. So we've got a $25 bet and a call. 4-8 Jack. Rob flops that set of aces. Now he's got the big boat. Andrew's in oh my gosh, and Chris is in a lot of trouble. Holy cow. Chris has a set of, three of a kind 4s, and luckily that didn't boat him up. Andrew's going to be able to get away from the jacks and 4s. I'm just saying that, and here he goes. He's leading out, gets a call, sees the full house, 8s full of aces. 4s. And pot moves on over. Chris has got some add-on chips coming out. And button moves on around town. How long do we got left before we ask that question? 8 minutes and 18 seconds. So we are establishing where everybody's from. We got some Iranians. How do you say that? Iranians? Corpus Christi. Really, Christina? I just saw that. I scrolled up through the chat. Corpus Christi. I actually spent some time out in Corpus. My pops was in the Navy for about 30 years. He was in the military for a little longer than that. But we lived on the military base in the barracks in Corpus Christi and in Kingsville, so I'm very familiar with that area. Love to do a lot of fishing with my pops. We fish those saltwater lakes around that area. Saltwater bass make for some good eating. So hand number 16, $1, $2, no limit hold'em. We've actually got a couple tables and a list now building for 5 on the button, no limit hold'em. So if your poker is itching, come out to Kojak's. Thanks for opening up the club in Midland. Long drive to Eagle Pass. Thank y'all, staff. Kenny, we truly appreciate that. We do this for you guys. Of course, we love to play poker out in this area. And you're from West Texas, so you know poker's got a lot. Fishing 100%. I like that. But we do love poker in this area, and this is something that we get to do for you guys. Every decision we make, what tournaments we run, what cash games we spread is all for you guys. So we do appreciate you out here heading out to Kojak's Poker Club. And if you can't make it out to Kojak's, even head out on over to CCC in Odessa. If you're out in the San Angelo area, head out to the River League. We've got a lot of poker clubs in the area. We'd love to see you at any of them. So here we go. 5-way action. Flop comes out. King, Jack, 9, 2 hearts. Nobody's got pocket hearts, but everybody's kind of got a piece of that. Bang's got a 10, gut shot to the queen. Chris has got the best of it. Two pair with the Kojak. And then we've got queen 8, gut shot to the 10. Coach has got a gut shot to the queen. And Skylar doesn't have much of it. As you can see, cards go in the muck. So we're down to 3. Down to 3. So, Christina, you like live bait or you like using spinner baits, anything dead? There's the queen on the turn. So bang, hits it just like bang. I mean, that's all you can say. Bang, he's got it. And now top 2 versus queens versus the king high straight. Bet is $16. Action's now on Chris. He's kind of got to be weary that somebody's getting there. So there's the call of 16. He's going to be getting 10 change. And now Bang's saying, how much can I extract? Are they on spades? Are they on hearts? Are they there with us? So it looks like he's pulling about 100 and, he dropped it. About 130-ish, maybe 135. Kenny, once again, we do appreciate you. Appreciate you heading out here. Can't wait to see you again. We got that West Texas Poker Championship Series starting on May the 23rd. We'd love to see you for a couple of those events out here. Come out here and bust them up and win some money. Take it back to Ira Ann. Bless you. She can't hear me. The door shut. I just saw her sneeze. Oh, good manners is best manners, though. And Angelo lets it go, lets his pair of queens go, does not want to fish for that 10. So we're now heads up, raised to $135. What Bang is telling Chris Gwynn is, I've already got the straight. I know you're chasing either a boat, either a flush. There's 2 possibilities out there, or even got an ace looking for it, but you're not going to get there unless you pay a whole bunch of money. So pot's pushed on into Bang. Bang is now up on the day setting in here. Got 531 setting in his stack. So we are setting just 5 minutes away from the next question. So everybody out in Facebook land, YouTube land, type it up and get it ready. I'm going to have a question coming up for you. It's going to be about a player on the table. It's going to be about a player on the table. So hopefully you've been watching. First person to answer is going to get it. Tomorrow at Kojak's, Wednesday at 6 p.m., we do have the PLO. First buy-in is actually on us here at Kojak's. We'll start you off. You have the option to add some more chips, but it is $2,000 guaranteed. Coming up on Thursday, we have that new tournament that was just added. I told you about the Big O coming up, $500 buy-in in the West Texas Poker Championship Series. That Big O tournament is going to be on May the 31st, last day of May. If you feel like you need a little practice, Thursday's a brand new tournament just added to Kojak's tournaments here during the week. It is going to be a $50 buy-in Big O tournament. It's the best way to learn how to play it, because when you play a cash game with Big O, all of your chips are in play, because every street, the possibilities and the hands change, especially with the high and the low being activated when you have 3 cards, 8 or lower. But it's a great way to learn. Last week we had 30 entries into it, and we expect this week to be even bigger. Flip back over real quick to the action. We do have 2 players in, Ace 10 versus Jack 10. Beard versus beard. I like to say it like that. 1 gray beard and 1 black beard. Oh, Blackbeard the pirate. Here we go. Aces in Chris's hand. Oh my gosh, he's got quads. How well can he play quads? Let's see. And now he may be able to get away from with a bet right here. And he says, I'm all in. I'm going to pretend. What's the chances that, and here's what Woody's thinking, what's the chances that he can have the 4th ace in his hand? This is actually an incredible spot, because he's playing the board there. What Woody's doing through his head is he's saying, does he have pocket 8s? Because it's really hard for him to have that 4th ace. And that's what he's saying. You see him, what's the odds of that? If Chris might have done, it looks like an overbet, so it looks like he could have it. He could get a call from Woody. Woody looks down at his hand and says, you know, I've got nothing but the board. If you've got pocket 3s, you beat me. And Chris says, good fold. And he's not going to show the quad. He's not going to show it. Oh, he's not going to let him have the satisfaction of knowing. And that's actually something I recommend to you guys. If somebody doesn't pay for the information, do not give the information to them. Ain't nothing in life and for free. So flipping back over, we've got 2-minute warning on the clock. 2-minute warning for the next question coming. Be ready in the chat. We've got about 45 people in both chats, so be ready for the question. Trying to think of a good one here. I've got a couple I can ask you. I've got a couple. So you like that about, you know, what's the chance he has? What's the chance? 3 on the board. Poker is all about statistics, whether or not the story adds up. Each street that you bet and raise, you're telling the player something. And there's a lot of trickery, a lot of deception going on in poker. And it's just whether or not you can put together the stories. As you move up through the tiers of poker play, you get better at transcribing those stories that are put together. Skylar's got a hand. Very, very sexy. Queen Jack suited. Coach he elects not to play the best hand in poker. He's probably going to flop quads, but he does let it go. Now there's the worst hand in poker. Somebody out there may like 7 deuce, not me. So raise to $12. Andrew makes the call. And 10-9 offsuit. I think David might make that call. So we're going to have 3-way action heading to the flop. Here in just a minute, you're going to hear it go off. So at the completion of this hand, we will have a question. We'll call it a question from Charlie's Corner. Winner gets 2 hours. Look at that. 5-3 would have flopped a pair of threes. Could have bluffed that like he had a set of threes. Nobody's got an ace. Nobody has a queen. 5-3 would have been the best hand. Skylar, though, does have, I guess, a gut shot. You could pretty much essentially call it that. He's looking for the 10 or running diamonds to have it. Yes, acting is also involved too, because you could be 100% bluffing, and when someone has the absolute nuts, they get excited. You look at how players eat their food, how they handle their chips, their handshaking. You can look at jugular veins. I mean, it's crazy everything that is involved in poker reads. And there's some players that play at Kojaks that are insanely great. And there's that clock right there. Stop that. So everybody in the chat, get ready. We're going to go another question on, VPIP, went to showdown, something like that. So I'm going to ask, and this question can actually have 2 winners. Which player sitting at the table has the lowest VPIP? So if you don't know what a VPIP is, it's voluntarily putting money into a pot. Voluntary put into pot. So we've got 2 players that have the exact same VPIP. So, sorry, 3 players. So we could actually have 3 winners on this hand. Which player has the lowest VPIP? And let me snap a picture of it because it's going to change as soon as this hand starts. So I've got a picture of that. So if you're out there in the chat, which player at the table, player or players? So we've got Christina locking in Mr. Angelo. Lock your vote in. And it is 8:16. I will give you till 8:17 to answer that question. So it goes around quick. Mr. Bang's racking up his chips, maybe heading outside to one of the outside tables. Got a list building up for 5 on the button, and he does that game. Scott Armstrong, you are 100% correct on that. It is not Coach. So if you're in the chat, do not vote Coach because he does not have the lowest VPIP. All right, 8:17. I'll give you all about 20 more seconds. Marco says, Mr. Rob sitting in seat number 1. We've got Christina saying Angelo sitting in seat number 2. Lock your vote in. We are running out of time. We'll give you 10 more seconds. Scott, get your vote in. It's worth 2 free hours if you get it. All right, flop comes out. All spades. Woody. Okay, I like that. You're saying Woody. Okay. And, oh my gosh, look at this. We're going to pause this. Okay, so you have till the end of this hand to vote. We've got flush versus flush flopped. David flops the nut flush, and Angelo's got to think he's sitting on gold right here with a jack high flush. Only 2 cards in the deck beat him. Only thing that will save Angelo is either another 6 or another spade. That'll make it to where he can fold. Seat number 5. Seat number 5 is Mr. David. All right, your vote is in. Mr. Kenny. So we've got flush versus flush. $110 sitting in the pot. And David's seen how he can milk this. That 6, though, is a scare card. That's a $60 bet. Not too scary. But the 6 is a scare card because that puts the boat possibility out there. Five of hearts on the river, and that locks it up. David's got the check mark, but how can Angelo get away from this? Angelo is first to act in the small blind. He's reaching down for chips, and I don't think that's going to scare David too much. But look at that. You see how he kind of drops his chips? Is that a tell that he's got something like 9-6, ace-6, 5-6? We were talking with Kenny earlier about tells in poker. He seems excited to put that money in the pot, and that does kind of scare you when you're making the call. And he does make the call, and he flips over the king deuce. And I'm going to rush this over here for the winners. We've got 33% VPIP setting in seat number 1, Mr. Rob. 33% VPIP setting, and it was. So I will flip it over to the camera. You saw it just change. I took a picture of it just in case that happened. So I will flip this camera around. Commentator full, and I will go to the picture, and I will flip it. Because I knew it was going to, well, that's terrible. I thought that would be a lot clearer, but it's not. So we've got a 33% VPIP sitting in seat number 1 with Mr. Rob. We had a 33% VPIP sitting in seat number 3 with Chris, and a 33% VPIP sitting in seat number 7 with Mr. Bang. So we're looking around. Marco won 2 hours, and that's going to be it on this. I tried to give y'all 3 chances, but we'll give you one more chance here in a little while. Congrats. Congrats goes out to Mr. Marco winning 2 more hours. And you're going to see me flip around over here and put them directly in. So Marco, with all these hours, you're going to have to head out to Kojak's and come play some. Get in on these live stream winner. Get in on some of these games. Make sure y'all can't see my password as I do that. I had to double check. So here we go. Board comes out. 10 of clubs, 3 of clubs, 3 of hearts. Nothing for nobody. This is going to be another one of those ones where the first to bet is going to win it. Back to the game. Coach leads out. Coach has ace queen. Coach actually has the best hand at this moment, sitting at a 76% chance to win this. And we see Mr. Bang going out. And it looks like we're going to be having another player come in, and that other player is going to be Mr. Tanner. This is a must move, and look at that. Soon as Bang picks up his chips, Mr. Tanner heads on in. Welcome to the game, Mr. Tanner. He was waiting on the live stream to start. 2 of spades on the turn, deuce of spades on the turn. That gives Mr. Schuyler 9 outs. As you can see up top, the 9 of spades, the deuce of hearts, and the deuce of clubs is blacked out, grayed out. That means those cards are already gone. Coach leads out with $75. Wouldn't it be something if Schuyler read right here that Coach only has ace queen high and was able to go over the top with a raise? He's not going to do that, though. He elects this is the time to end it. $262 in the pot. That's pushed over to Coach. Beautiful $162 profit going to seat number 9. So if you're unfamiliar with what we're doing right now, one of the games that we usually run out at Kojak's is called 5 on the button. We've actually included 1-2 no limit hold'em. And it's got a $60 minimum buy-in up to a $300 max. There's no 70% on this game. There's no bomb pots on this game. There's no straddling on the game. We're trying to keep it true to what it is. And it actually has become a huge hit. Baldo, what's going on, baby? Good afternoon. What would it take to try and play at that table? Takes $60. 1-2 no limit hold'em is a $60 buy-in. This game is built for action, and it's there. $60, Baldo, to $300 max. I'm actually going to type it in the chat. That way you can have a better representation of what it is. This game, you know, on the 5 on the button, no limit hold'em, there is that option you can buy in for 70% of the big stack. We do not offer that on our 1-2 game, and that's what actually makes it so much fun. And yes, Kenny, you're right. So glad we have 1-2. For the longest time, we did not have it, and that's something that we just started incorporating into our club. And man, as you can tell, it's a hit. I mean, as soon as we incorporate it, we got 2 tables running tonight. We don't have a 5 on the button yet. We've got a list for 5 on the button, but we don't have one running yet. So here we go. 6-way action. Who raised it up? Rob raises it up, 3-bets it to $35 with ace 4 suited. Andrew makes the call. Action moves around to Schuyler. David's going to let it go. Coach makes the call. 8-5 suited. Very sneaky. 9-6 goes into the muck. Yes, exactly right. Every man, everyday game. That's it. That's exactly what we're looking for. Because something that Midland and Odessa was missing was the every man, everyday game. You know me, I don't make a lot of money, and it's hard for me to play the five on the button game and buy in for $800. And if I bust out on the first hand, guess what? I'm taking my happy butt home. Actually, it would be an unhappy butt, but I'm taking my butt home. But I can actually sit down at the 1-2 game, buy in for $300, bust, and buy in again. Every day, Kenny, every day 1-2 is up on the list. And we've actually not only got 1-2 no limit hold'em up on the list, we've actually incorporated 1-2 PLO and 1-2 Big O. That way you can learn to play 1-2 Big O at lower stakes. And this is actually a game that everybody can play because you're watching this game right here. Buy-in was $60 to $300. 278, 206, 174, 455. Andrew's got 372. But look at this. Skylar's got $909. And you can see the flashes on this because it is updating. But it's yes, exactly. And the time that you pay on the five on the button game is $13 an hour. But guess what? Not for the 1-2. We wanted to make it playable. So the time pool on that is actually $7 an hour. So it's completely affordable. You're 100% correct. It's half the price of five on the button, and people sit down at five on the button with $200 hoping to win $900. Here it is. Skylar right here has done it. He's up $500 on this game. He is destroying this game. 7-6 suited. Chris makes the call of $8. Action moves around to David. Ace-8 suited. Ace-8 suited. That's terrific, Lane. We hope to see you in. Yes, you do have to set up. You do have to head up here, Kenny. We actually have a free daily membership waiting on you when you do head in here. And look at this. Joining me in the booth right now is I have to check this label to see if this label is correct or if she slid me a sandwich. Let me see. Let me see. All right, look at this. I don't know if you can read that, but that says +3 pickles. So it is a win right here from Miss Nikki. Charlie got his extra pickles, and I appreciate you, girl. Thank you so much.
You want any sauce?
Yes, I want like 30, just like on Big Daddy, 30 packets of ketchup.
Right.
But I will settle for 5 packets. But it can't be mixed. It can't be like half Whataburger, half Chick-fil-A. It has to be all either Whataburger or Chick-fil-A. So look at this. We've got action. We've got action. This is one of those hands. We've got Queen of Diamonds, 4 Diamonds, King of Spades. Coach flops 4 to the flush, and Woody flops 2 pair. Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that. Oh, and I actually get Chick-fil-A ketchup. There's nothing better than that. There's only one ketchup that beats Chick-fil-A ketchup, and that's Whataburger ketchup. Now, Coach is in some serious trouble. He's got Jack 10. He's looking for an ace or a 9 to close out his open-ended straight or a diamond to win. Woody's got 2 pair, but he's actually playing the queens, and there it is. Woody has the check mark on his hand. Oh, I hope to see you up here, Kenny. I hope to see you up here Saturday. I'll be here Saturday, so we'll get you a free daily when you head in here. So Woody's got the check mark kings and queens with a 7 kicker. Only the king in his hand is going to be playing. And he bets it like he knows it. Unfortunately for him, Coach has nothing that he can call. And he shows, I was open-ended, and I had 4 to the flush. And Woody says, man, why can't you just call that? Is he going to show him anything? He's going to show king 4. He shows, I flopped 2 pair. And Coach says, holy crap, he gone. Woody's up to 600. Oh, I've reached for my arms on this chair, and it's an armless chair. So button moves around. This is going to be Mr. Tanner's first hand. Forced to play. First hand forced play. Lane, that's the last time you were here? Let me look you up, Mr. Hill. I'd like to see that. Yeah, it's been quite a while. Holy cow. So, what you got to do, Lane? Reese McCain, what's up? Yo, 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 baby. Welcome out to Kojak's Live. We've actually got 2 1-2 tables running. We started off the stream, and so many people wanted on the stream. We built a must-move table. That's where Tanner just came from. Out in the pit. I guess you can't really call it a pit, but out on the floor, he moved in there. So, Mr. Lane, same thing with Kenny. I've got you a free daily waiting for you to come in. We've got this 1-2 table running right now, and I think they're both full right now, but we've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on the list for a third 1-2 table. So we've got action ready to go. Don't forget, our 1-2 is $60 to $300. And as you can see, there's action. $12 in the pot. There's a $15 bet. We've got 6-way action. Flop comes out 8-9-4. Rob's got that open-ended with that 7-10. Chris has ace-8. Looking, nobody really has anything else that can make a call. Chris says, my pair is in the lead right now, and I've got middle pair, top kicker. I'm going to make the call. And Tanner says, my ace 4, bottom pair with top kicker. I'm going to make a call. And there's a 5 on the turn. Ooh. Let's see what happens. Tanner's going to make the check, and Skylar's grabbing chips. It looks like it's going to be around $26 or $31. 15, 25, $27 is the action. Oh, you're very welcome, Kenny. Truly appreciate y'all coming out. Appreciate y'all watching and staying engaged in the chat. There's nothing better than an active chat. And just like that, Skylar picks up his hand. Picks up the hand. Action moving on around. Joining us in the dealer box right there, Mr. Jeff. I actually had the privilege of going to the Super Bowl this year. It was incredible. It's a once-in-a-life experience, and I'm going to flip this around so y'all can see this. I had the privilege of going to the Super Bowl this year, and it was a gift bought for me by Miss Carrie Shaver, and I got to go with Mr. Dennis Shaver, and it was a time of a lifetime, something that I will never forget in my life. And out of all people, Dennis and I are walking around, and we're going to one of the parties that we had a seat into, and you see that dealer right there. That dealer right there, we ran into him out of all people from Midland, Texas at the Super Bowl. And I'm going to go ahead and break the bad news to you. You know, I tell you 5-3 is the best hand in poker. Well, the Dallas Cowboys are the best team in football. But you can't tell that dealer that. He is a die-hard Jets fan. Die-hard Jets fan. And as both Dennis and I were sitting there watching the Super Bowl, we're surrounded by, sorry, not Jets, Eagles fan. We are surrounded by Eagles. And every time they score a touchdown, there's this little chant that they do, like this cheerleader chant. I don't know exactly what it says, but that's all we heard for the first half of this game. And I look at Dennis, and he just smiles at me and shakes his head. And, you know, I'm kind of wanting the Eagles to win, you know, same division, but I want this chant to stop. And then here comes Mahomes, and here comes all of the action. And next thing you know, the chant dies off. And the Chiefs win. It was one of the greatest things in the world. Once again, it was the time of my life. So here we go. Flop comes out, 6-3 deuce. Sorry, ace 6-3 with a deuce on the turn. We've got queen 4, we've got ace 4, and we've got 6-7. Ace 4 is in the lead with a 5-1 lock on this hand. Check, check. Action goes to Woody on the button. On the button is the strongest position in this hand, and he does check it. So it checks all the way around. We're going to see a, we're going to see a free river. 9 of diamonds on the river. Sorry, that ace is misreading. That was actually a 6, so Tanner is in a massive lead. So what happens, these are RFID cards, and as you're dealing, if you get that card a little bit too close to the board, it will pick up that card. And you saw when you saw the board, you saw the 6 on the board, and that's why you see Woody mucking that hand. And you're going to see Tanner making this call. He does make the call, and he shows the 6. He shows 6-7 for trips, 6s, and just like that, he pulls in a pot. Randall Cunningham was amazing. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. Randall Cunningham was amazing. One of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, though, was not a Cowboy. It was actually Warren Moon of the Houston Oilers. I miss that team so much. I refuse. So I'm a Texas boy. I will root for any team in Texas. But I don't know why I will not root for the Houston Texans. I'm a Texan, but I won't root for the Houston Texans. It's all about the Cowboys now, since the Oilers broke my trust and moved to Tennessee. So you're a diehard Eagles fan also, Kenny? Rob looks down 6-7. Angelo King Jack offsuit. David looks down 8-7 suited. Woody is going to play this 8-6. Very well hidden hand. And Skylar comes right on along with 7-6 suited. So we've got a lot of different hands. Coach folded 9. I think it was 9-6 or 9-5. I didn't quite see it fast enough. So here we go. Welcome to an average hand. 5-way action, $18 pre-flop bet, $92 setting in the pot. I see an 8. I see a 10, and I see a 4. 2 clubs. So 6, 7, 8. Rob is hunting for that 9. We saw one. I'm for sure one of those cards in Coach's hands was a 9. Yes, I agree too. So you're a diehard Eagles fan, correct, Kenny? I'm a big sports card collector. And I do like me some Jalen Hurts, man. I'm trying to find some RPAs, some rookie patch autographs of Jalen Hurts. I love sports cards. So we just ballooned. This pot's now got $192 of it on it. We've got the nut flush draw from David. We've got the gut shot for Rob, the gut shot for Skylar, I think that was. And Woody's got trip 8s now. Woody's sitting there licking his chops. He hopes, oh, there's no card. A six of clubs. That's what Woody's hoping for. Let David hit his nut flush. One more card to go. Woody leads out. And Skylar's going to make the call with 6-7. Skylar's getting a little frisky. Now, Rob, excuse me, Rob's going to let it go, so action's going to head over to David with the nut flush draw. Sorry, I choked on myself. He's going to make the call. So we've got 3 players, $372 in the pot. The river card, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That is quad 8s right there. That is quad 8s. That's the second time in 5 hands we've seen quads tonight. Holy cow. And he's got to bet it. He's got to try to get, and unlucky for David, he's got the nut flush, but that puts, holy cow, there's so much out there. Skylar's done with a hand. David may make a call if it's not a huge bet. $372 in the pot. So he wants to make it. If he makes it too big, that's going to look like he's got the boat. Holy cow. We've got quads again. Quad 8s. Coach had 8-6 a little while ago. He's saying, hey, where's my quads? I had that hand. So there's a bet. It looks to be a little over $100. No, it's exactly at. Oh, you got his signature, Kenny. That is incredible. You blew his horn at him because he left the door open. Did he turn around and say, what? What? So here we go. David's got the nut flush, but is that enough to call 100? So he's calling 100 into a $472 pot. So essentially 1/5 of the pot bet. Woody bet 60 on the turn. So is he putting together the story that Woody already had a boat at that point and it just got stronger here? It looks like he's going to fold. Oh, he says call. He says call, and he shows the nut flush, and Woody softly flips over his quad 8s. That is incredible. And what you're watching, you are watching 15 minutes ago. It was in Philly. I felt ashamed. I grew up in Philly. Ah. So are you not only, what sports do you like in baseball? I mean, sorry, what sports? What teams do you like in baseball? I tell you, I'm a Cowboys fan. For football, it's Cowboys or nothing for me in football, but in baseball, it's a little bit different. I grew up on my granddad's knee watching TBS and WGN. So I love the Rangers have become my favorite team now. Phillies all the way, baby. I like that. You like a little Bryce Harper action, don't you? Scott would have folded that. You dang right, Scott. Scott's got a good Scott folded a boat to a royal flush. And I called it live in here. He folded the second boat on the board to a royal flush. Incredible fold to him. So he's earned a whole new level of respect from me when it comes to being able to fold. So when he says I would have folded, he's 100% correct. He would have folded. But I tell you, my favorite player is Lenny Dykstra. Oh my gosh, he always had the snuff, or not the snuff, the chewing tobacco on his jersey. So joining me in the booth right now is one of our brand new dealers all the way from El Paso, Texas. And I want you to see how this works. So what you just dealt out there, you may be about to head back in. So this is what it is. I'm gonna let the crew see you. All of our chat out there. This is Mr. David right here, and this is Kojak's live stream. So what we're doing, Coach looks down at ladies, and he 3-bets it up to $75 after a raise from Tanner in seat number 7. So what we're commentating on 15 minutes ago. We're commentating live on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube. And there we go. Look at that. Tanner makes an insanely disciplined fold, and Coach does not get any action with ladies. But with a hand like what Tanner had, ace-queen offsuit, you really don't want to see a flop, because if an ace or a king comes out, you got to automatically assume that you're beat. So how'd you enjoy dealing the live stream table?
Yeah, it's really good.
You ever deal a live stream table before?
Never.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good experience.
So if you noticed in that room you walked by over there, Mr. Joey's in there, and he's inputting the bets. He doesn't get to see the cards though. We see the cards live. Like he's just now starting out to deal. So Chris is under the gun, first act, queen 10. He's gonna make the call, but he makes the raise. $6 is the new action. Andrew looks down at the exact same queen 10, but suited, he makes the call. I would have played that 6-3. Not after that beat he just took though. That's twice we've seen quads tonight. Woody just had quads. It's easy to be all smiles, and you're right. That's dang good. But Lenny Dykstra, going back to Lenny Dykstra in Philly, he always had that tobacco on his mouth. One of my favorite players. So I grew up. I was born in '80s, so I grew up watching players in the '90s. And I was telling you that I was on my granddad's knee, and so we grew up watching WGN Channel 10 and TBS Channel 11. So I've got a huge love for the Chicago Cubs. Man, forget about the White Sox. They don't matter to me. You know, Kaminsky, get rid of them. I'm all about Wrigley Field. And I have a secret hidden love that I don't tell a lot of people about, but that's for the Braves. I love the Maddox, the John Smoltz, the John Rocket, the Tom Glavine, the Andrew Jones, the Chipper Jones. Love that team. So here we go. Look at this. We've got another action board. Queen 10 versus Queen 10 versus King Jack. King Jack is searching for that 10 for the King High straight, and both Chris and Andrew are holding the 10 blockers, and they've got the pair. So here Chris says, I am all you can eat. And the graphics are just a hair wrong. He doesn't quite have $124. He's got about $65 there, and Andrew folds the exact same hand that he has. So action's going to move over to Woody. Woody is in fuego. He's on fire. He just hit quads. He's got a wall of red, and he makes the call. He said, I'll fish for a 10. Or he doesn't know this, but a king can win it. No jack, though. He cannot hit the jack. And he's asking how many times you want to run it, so let's see what it is. And here we are. They elect to run it one time and one time only. And Chris says, I've got Queen 10. Woody says, I got King Jack, and it's no good. And so just like that, Chris doubles up. And Kenny, you are correct there. All year you say you've been watching pro poker players all across the board. They're playing with any cards in great betting sizes. So if you go back and you look at the Chris Moneymaker boom of poker, and then you look at the inclusion of Greg Raymer, he actually came out to Kojak's. But if you look at the Raymers, the Phil Ivies, the Tom Dwans, well, not so much Greg Raymer and Chris Moneymaker, but Tom Dwan and Phil Ivey, they have made playing with random cards so much more exciting because they're so well hidden. And Daniel Negreanu can play any 2 cards in his pocket, can play any 2 whole cards, and he can pretty much tell you what you have. We watched him year after year in the World Series of Poker tell players what they have and be correct about 90% of the time. But it's all about betting sizes, and like we were talking about, the story that you tell. And these players are so great about watching players' demeanors, watching their face actions, looking at what cards they're looking at how they're holding their chips, how they drink their drink, how they shake their legs at the table. It's incredible just to see it. So 3 diamonds on the flop. Skylar's got the nut diamond. Angelo's got middle pair. And it looks like we got a bet and a call. 3 of clubs on the turn. Skylar's pulling out more chips. He's betting 20. And that's enough to get Mr. Angelo off of it. And he shows the ace, the ace out there. He doesn't know it was a dry ace, but he shows that ace. Sorry, wanted to take a quick drink, but didn't want you to have to listen to that. David looks down at pocket 8s. He is going to make the call. Action moves around to Skylar 7-4. He makes the call. Coach looks down at 7 deuce and says, no, thank you. Rob 10-9. That's a very playable hand. Angelo ace 4 goes into the muck. Mr. Gwynn. Look at this. Pocket kings. No way. Oh, Stu Unger was insanely fearless. That is correct. I always forget about him. So you actually dealt with Phil Ivey. Were you kind of nervous that you might flip one of his cards or mess up the board? That would be one of my fears, dealing to one of these insanely popular poker players. So we've got a hand brewing. We've got Mr. Chris Gwynn raising her up. Taking a quick pause. We got a chance for some severe weather tonight. Let's see what's around us, if anything's around us. So we've got some storms south of us. Nothing on us, but we do have some rain in the forecast. Baccarat. That's Kenny. That's one game. Big craps player. Also, I've heard that about him. Baccarat is one of those games that I have no clue how to play. I'm sure if I actually studied it, I could figure it out to be a novice player. But it's so much fun whenever I head to Shreveport or Vegas. I love to walk by the Baccarat tables and look at the size of the chip stacks that these players have out there. And I also like, in No Limit Hold'em, these players are very careful with these cards. They don't want to bend them, especially these RFID cards, which are a little bit more expensive. But in Baccarat, it's completely different. They use those throwaway cards, and players bend the hell out of those cards, fold them in half, and then they throw them in the trash after the hand's over. Seeing that for the first time, I was like, my gosh, this is a waste. But it kind of plays along with the whole game. But it's neat to watch the size of those chip stacks that they play with. Woody looks down first to act under the gun, 7 deuce, raises it up to $10. Angelo says my 4-3 suited is good enough to call. Chris says, I'm going to call with ace Quisha. And Andrew, well, he doesn't say I'm going to call yet. Let's see what he does. He says, I'm not going to call. I'm going to raise. It looks like maybe a minimum raise. Yeah, it's a min raise. $18. I like the way he thinks. I do the same thing sometimes. Oh, I like Woody's picture. I just saw this. Little tongue out action saying, eh. So here we go. Chris, with his pocket kings, has pushed up a pot that just was going to be just $25 to $57. Flop comes out 6 of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, 6 of spades. Oh my gosh. Kenny says he had a player lose $25,000, ripped the cards in half and threw them at me. I just called it, and that's exactly what we tell our players to do. Sometimes players our dealers, sometimes players at the table are going to take those big beats that they're not expecting. They're going to take it out on the dealer, but that doesn't mean that they hate the dealer. That just means that they're having a bad day at that moment. So flop comes out 10-6-6-5, 10-6-6-5. Angelo now has an up and down draw. Chris has just ace queen, and Woody's just got 7 deuce. There's a bet, $25. That may be enough to win it. Just enough out there where nobody has anything. Oh my gosh, there's a call. And what made the call? I didn't see. And the straight gets there. Angelo bet it the whole way, and he got there. So Woody's going to represent that he's got more than the 7 deuce. He looks like he's going to lead out with 60 or 65. I can't tell. $60. Yeah, in this industry, Kenny, you know as well as I do, you can't take anything personal. The same person that's yelling at you, what is this? Oh, Angelo says I'm all in. I had to remember what hands are out there. Angelo says I'm all in, which is fully expected. $123. Chris says there's no way I'm good. And now Woody can't make that call. So this is one of the things. He bet 60, and Angelo's all in for $123. For $63 more, he has practically committed himself, pot committed himself, and that's why he's asking how much more. And now he's kind of got a call even with bottom pair, hoping that Angelo missed with his diamonds. And there's the call. Angelo's going to flip over 4-3, and we're actually going to see maybe some reaction out of Woody's face. And he goes, you saw that? He said 4-3. He was not expecting that. He fully expected Angelo to have a missed diamond draw or something along the lines of that. And Kenny, like what we were talking about, I mean, as a dealer, I've dealt at the tables plenty of times, and you truly can't take it personal what comes along from those players. You know, it's a knee-jerk reaction, something that comes off real fast, something you can't control. So we're going to pause real quick for just 1 minute. Be right back. Okay, we are back. I just had to take one quick bite of a sandwich. I do apologize, but I paused it right in the middle of my bite because we do have a hand brewing. $120 in the pot pre-flop. Flop comes out 10 of diamonds, 9 of hearts, 3 of clubs. 10, 9, 3. Skylar flops top 2. Woody flops middle pair. David's got a backdoor flush draw along with Coach having a backdoor flush draw. Coach probably can't go any further than this. $35 is the bet. He may float one just to see. Excuse me. Oh, he's going to float it. Oh, just holy cow. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the difference of poker players right here. He's in a spot that he's raising it up $100. And look at this. Holy cow. Coach tried to represent something that was way stronger than what it was. And Skylar said, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. If you're going to play for 100 and some chains, 110, then you're going to play for a whole lot more. Holy cow. Just knowing where you are in that point, you know you've got to be ahead. You know if they're leading out right there, they probably have jacks, something like that, or a draw. You can't let them get there. So you've got to, that stat that I showed earlier went to showdown. You want to win the pot without going to showdown. You don't want to give them any information, and Kenny knows exactly what I'm talking about this. You don't want to give them any information as to how you play, what you raise with, what you call with. You want to make them pay for that information. And yeah, you're completely correct, Kenny. That was an insanely great poker move. So here we go. I love looking up and seeing this right here. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. This is what we call a family pot. Everybody wanted in on it. And I tell you right there, look at that. The best hand in poker. 5-3 nails the flop. Nobody's gonna believe me, but you're gonna start paying attention. That's like if somebody tells you there's a whole bunch of blue Camaros, baby blue Camaros driving around. You don't see it till you start to think about it. Now you're gonna start to see how often 5-3 comes out on this flop. So here we go. We've got 7-way action. 9, 5, 3. Coach has middle pair. Angelo's got bottom pair. I'm trying to find out. Queen 10. David's floating one. Queen 10 suited. Maybe this is why. 9 of diamonds puts 4 to the diamonds out there. David's got diamonds. So now I would venture out to say maybe Skylar's got a 9. This is the Kojak's guess his hand. $20 is the bet from Angelo. David's going to make the call with this newfound flush draw. Skylar pulls out 4 red chips, and Coach says, I'm done. 3-way action. Excuse me, 3-way action. 8 of diamonds on the river, and just like that, the flush draw gets there, but we don't know what Skylar has. Oh, we've got a surprise for y'all. Mr. Scott Armstrong is coming in. So Skylar leads out with $40. What WWDD? What would David do? And it looks like he just makes the call. I think he wants to see Skylar's cards. He's at that point right there. When a player makes a bet on the river, if you call their action, you can actually ask for them to show their cards first. But in that point right there, David did the proper etiquette and just showed that he had the flush, didn't fool around, showed what he had, and Skylar was able to fold. That's exactly correct. So we saw a 9-way action pot there. The entire table went to the flop. Now, if you have aces and you're trying to be sneaky and call and get someone else to raise so you can re-raise it, if you end up in a family pot like that, your aces, chances are those aces are no good when you get to the flop because you got 9 different combinations of cards that can be out there just to completely dominate your pair of aces, because aces is essentially what it sounds like. One pair. 9-6 has a good chance to beat you, so you've got to be cautious with that. Very, very, very good information there, Mr. Kenny. Okay, we got that all finished out. Ace-9 versus Ace-5. Woody's got 6 outs. And what are his 6 outs? 6 outs are the greatest hand in poker. 5 or 3. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's it. That's it right there. 5-3 is the greatest hand in poker. So that pair and the 3 right there actually makes more. You see 100% of the time it's going to be a split pot. The only thing that can save. Oh, what did he just do? He just said, I call. So there it is. Split pot. No matter what they do, they're chopping it up. So let's see who's the bravest. So that's going to be 80. 80, 80, 80 going in the pot. Welcome out to Kojak's Live. You are live with Charlie in the booth. Welcome out to Kojak's Live. A lot of insane action, as you can see over on the, I guess I can point, it's opposite for me. So if I point this way, you see over on the screen, we got Woody and Skylar locked up in a hand that's a chop pot. They both have a pair of aces, but now they're trying to see if anybody's got anything higher. I'm pretty sure 100% of the time Woody's going to make this call. I don't see how he can get away from it unless he gives a flush credit. I would have to give a boat credit before a flush, though. Holy cow. Holy cow. We've got a celebrity sitting down in seat number 9. Celebrity Scott Armstrong sitting down in seat number 9. And just like that, you see both hands go up. Both of them chop it up. One person's got $924 in their stack. The other person's got $608 in the stack. Two of the biggest stacks at the table. Two of the biggest stacks in the table don't want to get too frisky with each other, so they play coy and they chop up. They chop it up. It's heading back into their stacks. So we do have 2 full tables. We've got a list built up. I see you, Mr. Travis. I see you on that list. So we are running several I guess I can talk correctly. We are running several promotions out at Kojaks right now. For every cash hour you play at Kojaks, on your way out of the building, stop by the cashier's cage. Stop by and talk to the floor, because we give you 1 ticket for every hour you play. If you play between 4 and 7 p.m., we actually give you triple tickets. Each one of those tickets goes into a little bin that we spin around, right round, baby, round, round. And every Sunday at 7 p.m., if you're clocked in and playing and you're up here at Kojaks, if there's not a seat for you, but you're on the list and your name is drawn, we will draw 1 ticket. If your name is drawn, you win $500 cash. I mean, that's insane. You win $500 cash. If you don't believe me, head on over to Kojaks in this room right here on this table, seat 1, Mr. Rob Worsham, and ask him about last Sunday at 7 p.m. Rob came out, played every day last week, built up a nice little stack of tickets, had them all in that drawing. That gentleman sitting right there with that number 1 on his hat, he won $500 cash for merely just coming out to Kojaks and playing. So this session is brought to you by the $500 weekly giveaway. Now let's say that they pull someone's name and that person's not here. We leave all the tickets sitting in that bin and we roll it over to the next Sunday for $1,000. If nobody hits it that Sunday, we roll it over to the following Sunday for $1,500. So we're giving you every reason to come out to Kojaks and win money. Not only are the games juicy and great, I mean, we got promos out the wazoo. Every single day from 4 to 7 p.m. and from 7 to 10 p.m., we run high hands. The highest hand of each one of those hours, which is going to be quad aces for Mr. Chris Gwynn, they win a voucher into the West Texas Poker Championship Series, a $100 voucher. They can use it for any tournament in the West Texas Poker Championship Series they want to. Also, the person who plays the most cash hours each day wins another voucher. So we're giving away $300 a day in vouchers into the West Texas Poker Championship Series. So you have to be yes, Mr. Kenny, you do have to be present for that drawing. If you're not present, we roll it over. We add that 500 to 500 more and make it 1,000 on the next Sunday. If it's not hit, we leave all the tickets in there. Keep rolling it around. Keep rolling it around. Once it's hit, like it was this week, it was hit by Mr. Worsham sitting in seat number 1. We take all the tickets that are in there, we throw them away, and we start all over. So your best bet is to head out on a weekday or weekend from 4 to 7 p.m. You get double the tickets. Sorry, triple the tickets. I lied. Triple the tickets, and just stop by the cage, say, hey, give me my tickets. And Miss Alize, Miss China, Crystal, Jake, Heath, myself, any of us will get you those tickets to drop in there. All that we ask is you do write your first and last name on the back of that ticket. That way we can find you. So here we go. Scott didn't know it, but his ace high is good. Well, I say he doesn't know it. He just bet out $60. He knew his ace high was good. Look at that. He's got his glasses on. We don't call those his golf glasses. He doesn't wear those out there on the golf course. And if you don't know this about Scott, he is one hell of a golf player. We talked about it Saturday night when he was on the live stream. He'll take your money. Before you know it, you're just handing him your wallet, maybe your debit card, credit card. You can even hand him your HSA account card. He'll take it all from you on the golf course. Thanks a lot, Kenny. It is awesome because it's something that we're able to finally give back to you guys for all that y'all do to us and all the times that y'all head in. We truly do appreciate you guys come into play in our room. We try to provide you the safest, most integrity poker game that we can. We follow the TDA rules. We try to keep everything across the board. We don't allow angle shooting. We try to take the home game element out of it and make it a little bit more professional. And it's actually starting to pay off. We're starting to see our tables get busier and busier, and we 100% appreciate all of you guys coming out to play with us. So we're trying to give as much as we possibly can back to y'all. And with that poker series coming up, it's $100,000 guaranteed over the course of that series. And if you know anything about tournament poker at Kojak's, everything's bigger in Midland. So we're going to blow past all of those guarantees. Look at this. Slot machines, 777. And chances are when there's 3 on the board, nobody has one in their hand. We've got 5-way action. 5-way action. Nobody's got a pocket pair. Everybody's got trip 7s right now. And here we go. Mr. Schuyler eating his Chick-fil-A French fries. Rolls out Fideline. 20. 20 is the bet. I call that a quarter pounder minus the cheese. And I don't think anybody can call that. Tanner done forgot what he had. He had to double check, and he says, does he have a 7? Does he have an ace? Does he have a king? I don't even want to get in there. $83 in the pot, heading over to Mr. Schuyler. Button move, chips pushed over. And just like that, Schuyler's in it to win it. Schuyler is almost back over $1,000. He lost a little bit. He is up $400, though. $400. We're on hand number 36. Uh-oh, I see live action on my Poker Atlas screen, and either a player's about to bust out, or he's just heading home for the night. And it looks like he may be heading home for the night. So here we go. Here we go. Magoo, go. All right, action's on Andrew. Queen, Jack offsuit. He's going to raise her up, it looks like, to 15. And Tanner snaps that call. So does Schuyler. Holy cow. Five-way action. We're missing Mr. Andrew. Hopefully we'll get him back in here. 2, 3, 6, and that is 2 pair for Mr. Angelo sitting in seat number 2. 20 is the bet by Tanner with top pair. I'm trying to think of a way Schuyler can call. He's just going to float it with 2 overcards. Scott's not going to float it with 2 overcards. He may have there. I like to see that. Is there a delay? Yes, Mr. Blackwood, there is a delay on this game. That's the only way we're allowed to show it. So we've got almost a 20-minute delay set on that. Average hand only runs about 7 minutes. So we are going to have heads up action. There it is. That's why you float one with 9-7. So 6-3's got 2 pair, 10-6 got 1 pair, 9-7's got 1 pair. It might get him in trouble, though. He doesn't realize Angelo's hand is so good. Always, David, man, appreciate you. That way we're not commentating live on it, and a player at the table, I can text him and say, hey, man, he's got 2 pair, fold that. We want to eliminate, at Kojak's, one of the biggest things at Kojak's is integrity. So we're going to keep the integrity in poker. So there's the $40 bet by Schuyler, and Tanner folds. But Angelo just min raises, and there's the call. I think that's going to slow, it's 100% going to slow Schuyler down. He'll probably check. He's first to act. Oh my gosh. This is why I'm sitting in the booth and he's sitting out on the table. Oh, he does check. And it looks like Angelo says, I am all in, all of it. And there's no way that Schuyler can make this call. 1 overcard. I mean, he can think maybe he had a 5. Well, maybe he had a 5. Maybe he had a 4 gut shot fishing. And maybe he's got a 3. Maybe he's got a 2. He doesn't realize how strong he is with 2 pair. But I could actually see Schuyler making this call. And it wouldn't be a terrible call. It would be one that he would regret, but it wouldn't be a terrible call. And Angelo pulls it in. He's got now $420 in his stack. He's $121 up. Oh, we got somebody new heading in the booth, or not the booth, at the table. You're going to enjoy this. We get to critique him. We get to get him in there. Oh, excited about this. Look at this. Motown, Motown. Jackson 5s, Jackson 5s. Andrew and David. Is any one of them brave enough to play it? Nope. Both the Jackson 5s go into the muck. 10-8, Queen 4. So I noticed we've had a lot of new people join in the chat. I'd like to know, where's everybody from? Are we all from Midland, Texas? We got some Ira Ann. We got some Corpus Christi. We've got one Lubbock I saw earlier. Where's everybody from tonight? Look at this. Scotty Boombody Armstrong, Mr. Professional Golfer, keeping it clean, wakes up with pocket aces. He said we're going to razor up the flat tire Jack 4. What's a Jack 4 flat tire? That goes in the muck. And unfortunately for Scott, the only call he may get is Skyler. Skyler likes to play, so let's see what happens here. And remember, aces are only that. They're just a pair after the flop. They're the strongest hand pre-flop, but after the flop, they're only just aces. Flop comes out, Jack 4. That flat tire that went in the muck by Rob would have been 2 pair. Jack 4, 9. No real help for Skyler. And look at this, Scott's trapping. Scott's playing coy. 8-4, 8. What does he have? 8-3. And look at this. That check on the flop is completely disguised. Oh my gosh, I'm going to give him a round of applause for that little play right there. So there's a bet of 35, raised to 75. That's going to be the end of the hand for Skyler, unless he comes up with something frisky and re-raises. He's got the call out there, and he's going to throw the call out. That check on the flop by Scott was incredible. Now Scott's got to be scared. If Skyler checks, Scott's going to check. But the Skyler knows the only way that he can win this hand is if he bets at it. Looks at Scott. Give him that devil's stare. Check. And Scott says, all right, I'm scared. I've only got aces. And Skyler knows that he missed a bet right there. He could have made a huge shove, and Scott would not have been able to call. So we've only got about 19 minutes left on this live stream before we call it a night. This was a special midweek live stream brought to you by Kojaks Live. And for, just want to go ahead and give you from everybody here at Kojaks, we want to say we truly appreciate every single viewer that's been in the room tonight. We want to say thank you to all the players that are sitting at the table. Look at this. David's got the best hand in poker. He doesn't know how great it is. Aww. Oh, the best hand in poker just went in the muck. But once again, we want to thank all the players at the table. We want to thank all the viewers out in Facebook land, YouTube land, Twitch land, whatever we're all streaming in. We want to say thank you truly from the bottom of our hearts. Without y'all, we wouldn't have a Kojaks. And without Kojaks, I'd be a really sad person. So we're going to flip on over back to the game. 7-5, King, Queen, King 4, Jack 10. Wow, that took every bit of breath I had in my lungs. So 4-way action going to the flop. 5-3 is an insanely strong hand. Flop comes out ace, 5 deuce. Nobody's got an ace. We do see 1-5, and Andrew is out there, Skyler's out there gut shot fishing. Angelo, when he's been betting tonight, he's been having it. He is up $120, and he's only gone to showdown 25% of the time. 25% of the time he's gone to showdown. So here we go. 3-way action, small bet. 7 of clubs on the turn. 7 of clubs on the turn. So now that is 2 pair for Chris. Chris has got to be feeling well. Jack on the river. Jack of spades on the river. That gives a pair to Angelo. Chris fires out $6 with 2 pair. And he may get a call from Angelo. I don't think anything else in that. And he says 2 pair, 2 pair. I said, give me 2 pair. Moses, I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you say that. I take a lot of pride in this place. Been here for a while. There's a few of us that have been here since almost at the start. And we do this because we love you guys. I mean, we take a lot of pride, a lot of integrity when we come out here. And we just try to put out a place for you guys to rock out, man. So definitely thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting us with everything that we do. So as we move around the table, let's get an updated total chip count. That's 12, 15, 2, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 31, 32, $3,300. $3,300 on a 1-2 table. $7 an hour. And we actually have 2 of these 1-2 tables running. $3,300 sitting on this table. I can't say that enough. If you're not playing 1-2 at Kojak's, you are absolutely nuts. Look at this. Look at this. Rob 3 bets Ace Quisha up to $36. $36 make you holler. Oh my God. All right, hey, okay, everybody, big hand alert. We're gonna have a big hand right here. We've got aces, we've got ace queen, and right behind that we've got pocket threes. So action was 3 bet by Rob to $36. Action's now on Chris Gwynn, and look at this. He's able to maintain composure, giggle a little bit. Some may say this is a tell, but he's able to giggle a little bit, and he says it's no longer $36. It's gonna be $75. Andrew's gonna look down. He's got pocket threes. He's gonna shove it. And David says, I'm sorry, Jack 7, I wish you were better, but I can't go. Action's going to fold around on over to Skylar. Woody says, I've had enough of it. I'm heading home. Skylar says, I'm not going to even embark on this. And Rob says, Rob calls. So we've got 3-way action, 1 player all in with pocket threes. Wow. Ace, queen, pocket threes, pocket aces. Side pot set right there. 1 player all in. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see what this is. Nope, that's not the right one. Rob flops top 2. Everything that he wanted, he got right there. A queen would be detrimental. So there it is. Action's now on Rob. Chris has that set of aces. Rob throws out $75. And Chris says, I call. He's trying to disguise it. He wants a queen or a 10. Oh, that's a scare card for Chris, though. Rob's going to check, and Chris is going to check. He's going to say, I've got a set of aces. I can't bet it anymore. And Andrew's going to show his pocket threes, and Rob might show his 2 pair aces, queens. Everything got there on the river. That flush got there. That straight got there. Nothing that you want to see when you've got top 2 or when you've got a set of aces flopped. You don't want to see any of that. All right, Kenny, you heading out. I truly appreciate you coming out tonight with me. We're going to join in the booth for just 1 minute with Miss Nikki. We're going to give her this microphone and see what kind of skills she has. She told me she has skills when it comes to talking. So let's see how she does. We're going to flip it around. We're going to let you see Miss Nikki joining in with us. Much better looking than I am. All right, so we've got guaranteed action. Rob's got King Jack suited. He just lost a huge hand to Chris Gwynn with pocket aces. A set of aces flopped. He had top 2. And here we go. David's got ace Jack. Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks. So we got 4 players going to the flop. $49 setting in the pot. 4-way action. David's going to put out the flop for David setting in seat 5. 4, 3, queen. Skittles on the suits. What do you think? Who's in the lead?
Hold on. You're going way too fast.
It tells you. King on the river. Or sorry, the turn. It tells you who's in the lead on the right side. So Skylar and Scott both have a 0% chance to win this hand. And Scott actually leads out and bets $15.
So the one on the bottom is the one that's in the lead. The one that's
Nope, not anymore. It changes with each card right there. So now Rob is in the lead. David actually has a 10 to the straight. He's looking for a 10 or an ace. That's all that can win. So we're now 3-way action. River is a 10, and just like that, Ace Jack got there with Broadway. 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. That check mark now goes next to David. You said he was in the lead. You didn't even know it, but he was the winner on the river. And here we go, $94 setting in the pot. $94 in the pot. He leads out with $30, 1/3 pot bet. He may get a call from Scott, but I can already see Scott's cards are gone. And Rob says, I am all in. And just like that, Mr. David has been patient, quiet, and collective, and he is now $140 up. His VPIP is 52%. His pre-flop raise is only 5%. He doesn't raise a lot. He calls just to see where he can get to. So we are now, and you see right now there's one spot open on that table, but here in just a minute, the gentleman that was in the booth with us, Mr. Chris Carter, you're going to see him moseying on in here, dropping his chips. And just about the time he gets in here, we're going to be stopping the live stream. He's going to be so disappointed with that. We'll go a couple extra minutes, get him a couple hands in there. Kenny, once again, if you're listening, appreciate you coming out. Moses, appreciate you in here. Appreciate all the interactions. Same with you. Excuse me. Same with you, Mr. Scott. I know you're at the table now, so you can't be talking a whole much. Reese, Lane, Christina, Marco, we truly appreciate everyone coming out and typing in the chat. We saw 8-6 hit quads in Woody's hand earlier. So here's Rob. Rob's going to call that. Angelo's cards are gone because he's not at the table. In cash games, it's a little different than tournaments. Tournaments, whenever you're dealt cards, when that last card hits the button, if you're not in your seat or within arm's reach, those cards are mucked. Well, cash games, they kind of sit there until it's your action and gone. And so we're going to see $2. This is one of the few times tonight at Kojak's that $2 made it all the way around. We've got six-way action. Six-way action headed to the flop, $12 in the pot. Flop comes out 9, 5, 6, 2 hearts. David flops 4 to the flush, but so does Skylar. Skylar's got his 4 to the flush completely dominated. Scott flops 3, 4, 5, 6, an open-ended straight draw. Rob flops a gut shot to the 7 straight draw. Andrew flops 2 pair. Tanner flops a gut shot to the 8. So every single person has equity in here. And that you can see that when a $15 bet was thrown out by Skylar and every single person in the hand, the same 6 made the call. So a 10 of clubs on the river, 10 of clubs. Andrew's still in the lead with 2 pair. He's got a 47% equity, 2 pair, 9s and 5, but Skylar still got 33% to win this hand. He's got Jack 8. Now he has 8, 9, 10, Jack. He's got 4 to the straight and 4 to the flush. I don't see David going anywhere, and I definitely don't see Andrew going anywhere with 2 pair. And so as players fold, you can see the percentages changing on the screen for you. So now Skylar, 33% to win, Andrew, 52%, and Tanner still has that 14%. He's not dead. All you need is a chip, a chair, and a percent. The deciding factor is coming, and it's a king of clubs. That's actually going to give it to Andrew with 9-5. You see that little check mark right there? And Skylar's grabbing betting chips. And he throws out, looks to be 80-ish. $80 is the exact bet. There we go. We are back. Miss Nikki was making some comments. She's learning all about the poker back here, the statistics, the action tracker that we have. And here's Andrew. So it's an $80 bet. Andrew's got $248 effective in his stack. It's 1/3 of that to make the call. $287 sitting in the pot, just right over what he has in his stack. Tanner's going to be done with it. Can't really do anything about it. So Andrew does make the call. That's not what Skylar wanted to see. Skylar wanted him to think $80 is a value bet. What is this? Tanner's got a pair of 10s. He doesn't think that king helped anybody. He doesn't think anybody had 2 pair. Is he going to? He's got to get away from this hand. Oh, and there's what you saw. He pulled out the chips. Then he's starting to put together the stories. Oh, I would love for us to be able to like hook them up to a computer so we can see what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because he could sit there and be thinking, man, what am I going to get for dinner? Am I going to stop by Dairy Queen and get a Blizzard on the way home? Just trying to get some little TV time. But he's actually trying to put together the story, what we were telling you about earlier. He's trying to put together the story to see if anything makes sense. He knows Skylar is capable of bluffing. And in this instance, Skylar's holding his Coke can. Look at him breathe. He knows he's beat. He knows he can't beat Andrew. If Andrew made that call, then Andrew's got him beat. But here's what he's thinking. He said all in. Holy Yes. He thinks somebody's bluffing. Skyler, that gave him a free pass to get out of there. That all in is $286. That's going to be all in to call from Andrew. That is scary. I don't know if he can do it. He's taken some bad beats today, so he may be flustered and he may just say call. We know sitting at home that call is the correct answer. But does he sitting at the table? You ready to get some chips and go play? It's crazy insane.
The thing is that I know how to play. It's just the rules. You know what I mean? These certain rules.
The certain rules.
Yeah, like, well, not.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're
You
talking
know
about.
what I'm trying to say.
But do you think you could pull off a massive bluff like this? He doesn't think he's bluffing. He doesn't think the king helped anybody. He thinks his top pair's in first place. And that's what he's saying. Oh, and we got a call. Andrew made the call. We're going to go ahead and give the applause to Andrew right there. Just like that. That's the call of the night. Ultimate max pressure was put on Andrew, and he made the call. And you can see him shaking his head. He's like, son of a, and you can insert the word that you want to say in there. He's like, man, how do you call that? Everything's out there. So as you can see, David leaning over the table, getting an exact count to let Mr. Tanner know how much he owes. And just like that, Mr. Andrew is now up $435. Holy cow. I would say I'd like to be at this table, but these guys are way above me. I'm the type of guy that likes to play 5-3 offsuit and bluff my way to win. But these guys are in it to win it. They are making some crazy bets, making some insane calls, and that's one of those calls that we're talking about right there. Insane. So joining us rebuying at the table, Mr. Tanner is adding on $250. And chips are on the move. I only love playing free roll. I'm Mr. Cheap. Hey, playing free rolls. Those free rolls are $2,000 guaranteed. We've got 3 of them a night. I mean, sorry, not a night. 3 of them a week. 3 of them a week. So all you got to do is win 2 or 3 of those, win 1 a week, and you've got a poker bankroll being built. Chris Deuce. It's 5 deuce in Chris's hand. That is what he calls his crazy hand. You can see his smile. He's like me. He plays 5 deuce like I play 5-3, like we both have aces. So you're probably going to see a raise from him. Only because I know him. Look at that. Raise to $6. Just a little 3-click, 3x bet. He's trying to get some money in the pot, and we're probably going to have a family pot on this. Everybody just automatically tossing in some money. And there we go. 2, 4, 6, 7-way action. 7-way action, $48 in the pot. There's got to be one more person. I think Chris is the only one not in it. Flop comes out. Ace, 3, 8. Ace, 3, 8. Scott flops top pair. And Chris, there it is. Just like that. He's got a gut shot to the 4. Mr. Andrews stacking up his newly found chips. He's got a ton in front of him. He's got $777. He's now the chip leader at the table. So Chris leads out with $18. Actions on Scott. He's going to call with top pair. So it's now going to be heads up. Top pair versus searching for a 4. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. There it is, there it is. That's why he calls it his funny hand. That is why he calls it his funny hand. So he's going to lead out. It's so well hidden. He's going to lead out and keep it kind of low. That way Scott thinks that the top pair is good. $24. He bet 18 last. He increased it by, in craps, what we call by 1 unit. I love craps, by the way. 24 is going to be enough to call. Scott's going to fish around, grab a quarter pounder, and throw it in there. He's going to get $1 change, and this pot has now escalated to $132. And there it is, 5 on the river. And Chris is in the +1, the under the gun. You would never expect him to have a 5 deuce in his hand. Give him credit maybe for an ace deuce, but here we go. There's 50, there's 55, 60. $60 is the bet. We saw Scott on Saturday night fold kings full of queens to a royal flush bet. And look at this. That is one thing about Scott Armstrong. We've seen him make some insane folds, and look at that. Chris proudly shows his crazy hand. He calls that his crazy hand. And that's, Carter says, yep. I'm sure there's some good conversation. We don't have the table mics turned on tonight, but sure there is some good conversation going on at those tables. So I know we said we were only going to 9:30. We'll go a little past 9:45. We'll go to almost 10 o'clock. Yeah, Curtis had the royal, that's right. And then the very next hand, Curtis had pocket aces, and the flop comes with an ace, and he hits a set of aces and wins the next hand. Very next hand, he has pocket jacks. A jack comes on the flop, and he wins with a set of jacks on that one. Curtis just completely dominated him in that game. So here we go. We got action started. Two-way action so far. We've got Rob with pocket aces. Angelo's going to look down. Angelo actually, Rob calls a 20. Kind of got to catch up. Hold on 1 second. So that looks like, oh, he was buying some chips. I got you. So there we go. It looks like we're going to have heads up action, pockets 8s versus jack 6 of hearts. And the jack 6 of hearts whiffs. Rob checks it. I bet you no, he's going to fold. He's going to show it. And is Angelo going to show him he was wrong? Sometimes that can mess with a player's head if you show him they made the wrong read. And he does not show. That is very polite right there. A lot of players like to show in that point to set him on tilt. But Rob's not one of the players that's going to be able to go on tilt very easily. So button moves around. It's on Mr. Rob. Angelo throws some of his newfound money out. Angelo's $124 up. Chris is exactly even on the night. Sometimes that's a win in itself. So we do have the 15-minute warning going out. We're on hand number 44 of the night. 6 of the 9 players are positive. One of the 9 players is he's right at break even. That's Chris. He just sat down. Only 2 players at the table are in the red. One of those players you don't normally expect to see, and that's Mr. Rob. He's usually not in the negative, but tonight the cards are just not falling his way. Seven-way action going to the flop. Flop comes out. Ace of spades, 8 of clubs, 6 of clubs, ace, 8, 6. 2 clubs on the board, 2 clubs sitting over in David's hand. Once again, that club flush got him in trouble last time. Let's see if he can stay away from it on this one. Ace of diamonds on the turn, pairs up them aces, but nobody at the table has an ace. Angelo says, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm giggling, I'm laughing. I'm going to bet $12 into a $14 pot. That may be enough to pull it all the way in. With the even David. I was going to say with the exception of David possibly calling, but it's going to fold all the way around, and Angelo's going to pull in second pot in a row. So once again, welcome out to Kojak's Live. We are on the downfall of the night. We are almost completely finished, but that doesn't mean the game's finished. The game's going to continue. These games typically go for a while. You've got 1,000, 2,000, $3,200, $3,600, $3,700 sitting out on the table. $3,700 out on the table of a 1-2. Action is there. Are you brave enough to come claim it all? $1, $2, no limit hold'em, $7 an hour. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., we've got the PLO High Tournament. Your first buy-in's free. We'll just give you chips just for coming in and joining up on it. It's also part of our Road to Vegas series. Road to Vegas series, don't forget about that. That's going to be in mid-June, the final tournament. We'll be giving away 2 package to the World Series of Poker. $10,000 buy-in to the main event plus $1,000 spending cash. That is something to play for. Every tournament that you play in here at Kojak's, you get points into the Road to Vegas series. Let's get it on, baby. Let's get ready to rumble, as they say. So here we go. 5-6 versus 4-3 versus 5-8 versus 8-7. 4-way action. Flop comes out. All clubs. King, 9, deuce. The only club is Mr. Angelo's 5 of clubs. Checks around to him. He's going to take advantage of everyone else showing weakness. He throws $25 out. And it's going to fold all the way around. Scott gets rid of his 4-3 because it's no good, this one. And Angelo's going to pull in a 3rd pot in a row. 3 pots. He's in fuego. Button moves around. You see the players looking up at the TVs. I think the NBA playoff game is on. I don't know. Let me look up the score so I can give you an update if you can beat me to it. Let's look at this ESPN app. Apps are the greatest thing in the world. So I'm just kidding. The NBA playoff is not on. And I wish Kenny was here. The Philadelphia 76ers trumped the Boston Celtics 115-103. Holy cow. Got a series going on there. Suns and the Nuggets are actually playing. That's probably the game that's on right now. Nuggets are up 35-20 in the first quarter. That game's on TNT. If you do like to engage in some action on sports. Got a raise up to $6 by Chris Carter. He was in the booth with me commentating earlier. He's got King Queen suited. Skylar with 8-6 offsuit says, I'm going to call. Angelo calls. Chris calls. Andrew calls. David is... Now, he says, hell, why not? I'm going to go ahead and make the call with 4 deuce. They'll never see it coming. Or, sorry, 6 deuce. Stars are winning 1-0 in the NHL, and the Hurricanes dominated the Devils 6-1. Flop comes out. Let's see what it is. Four, 8, 8, 2 clubs, turn card of a 3 of spades. So now we've got 2 clubs, 2 spades on the board. Skylar's got every bit of this flop. He's got trip 8s. He calls a $25 bet by Chris. Chris was trying a little action, see if nobody had a piece of it. And the worst thing that can happen for Chris is a king or a queen on the river. And luckily for Chris, nothing happens. He's pulling out betting chips, though. He pulls out 40. Skylar's pulling out calling chips. He says, I call. Chris says, I got nothing. And Chris knows that as soon as that call comes in that he's beat. He did everything he could to try to get that. Unfortunately for him, Skylar had every single bit of it. So Skylar increases his chip lead, $669. Sorry, not chip lead. Andrew now has the chip lead at the table. So we are on hand number 46. Hand number 47 starting off. Tanner's going to look down under the gun. Ace 7. Skylar right behind him has Queen Jack. Skylar checking his, Tanner checking his chip stacks to see what he's got. He says, I think he said raise it up to 5. That's what it looks like. Skylar's going to make the call. Scott with the same hand as Skylar makes the call. Angelo makes the call. Chris with the Kojak makes the call. Andrew's not at the table. His hand's gone. David is making the call with 6-5 suited, and Chris Carter says, hey, we're going to play for a little bit more. I bluffed off a few chips last time, got caught, so I'm going to 3-bet it up to $25. Tanner says, not for me this time. And he's going to get a call from Skylar, from Scott, from Angelo, from Chris, and probably from David. The pot's just going to be too good for David to let it go. Oh, just kidding. That is why David's sitting at the table playing, and he's profitable. He's up over $107. And here we go. Into action. $135 in the pot. 5-way action. Flop comes out. Queen 5-5. And David is kicking himself for folding that 6-5. Skylar's going to lead out with Queen Jack. Same hand Scott does. It's easier to bet a hand than it is to call with a hand when you have the same cards, especially when nothing's out there. But unfortunately for them, they both hit top pair and have a jack kicker. Scott's going to think about it. $40 into a $135 pot. He's going to make the call. So action moves on around. So a deuce of diamonds comes on the turn. Skylar's free rolling right here. He's the only one setting with a jack. That's why that's why it's not 50-50. It's 60-40. And just like this, Skylar's putting a little more money out there. And Scott looks down. We see his Queen Jack in his hand. He doesn't suspect that the flush is there yet. We've seen him make some big folds. We saw him fold those two. You saw somebody said earlier that was a great fold. And look at this. Scott's pulling out $65. He is right now, if a non-diamond comes on the board, they are 100% chopping this hand. But here's the predicament that Scott's going to get himself into. If he makes this call and a diamond comes on the river and Skylar bets, oh gosh. So now it's going to be all-in call. $345 in the pot, and it's not going to be all-in. Skylar's going for max value, $110. So pot's now at $455. Scott's got $318 left in his stack. He could shove it, but he's scared of those diamonds, so he probably will only call. He's got top 2 pair. I would love to know what's in these poker players' heads. Excuse me. So Scott at minimum is going to make the call. It's too hard to go over the top right there. Oh, Scott was going to muck his hand, and he saw the Queen Jack, and he says, hey, I got that same hand. Skylar says, you play good. Scott says, you do too. It's almost like we can read their minds. Poker players don't mind chopping a pot because that means they're winning everyone else's money. So, wow. Out of all the players at the table, only 2 players are in the negative. That is incredible at this game. That is incredible. You can see Mr. Andrew enjoying some of that free on-the-house beer brought to you by Miss Nikki. Yep. But she's not bringing it to him right now because she's sitting in here. However, it's so weird when you're sitting in here and you walk into that room and then you see yourself walk around and you're back in here watching yourself because there is a delay. So what you see right now, Mr. David's chopping up the pot, even Steven, for the players. And he says, it's an even chop, queens and jacks. That's going to you. And Scott says, good hand, queens and jacks. Just like that, we're moving on to hand number 48. So we're going to throw the win-loss up there just so you can see. Angelo, he's up $136. Chris in seat number 3 is up. So we've got a new player coming in. Oh, that is Mike Concho. That is Mr. Mike Concho. We'll see what they put his name as, but that's his nickname around here, so that is what he shall be known by. And so here we go, getting a quick update of his chips so we can keep the pots as equal as possible whenever they move all in. Miss Nikki, they've been notified that they've got 15 minutes left of live, correct?
Yes.
All right, all right, all right, as Matthew McConaughey says. What movie is that from?
What movie is it from?
Oh my gosh, chat, if you're still out in the chat, show Miss Nikki. Whose voice? Whose voice?
Matthew McConaughey.
Absolutely. So Nikki cannot remember that movie.
I know what movie, I just can't.
First person to commentate that movie, what the name of that movie is, gets a free hour at Kojak's. We'll add it right onto your account. All right, all right, all right. I think that was his first movie that he ever appeared in, too. Scott looks down at Ace. Oh, my gosh. Look how fast MJ got that. Look how fast MJ got that. MJ, how have you been? Oh, my gosh. It's been a while since we've seen you. I'm putting that hour on your account right now. MJ just won a free hour. Congrats to you, my brother. Reward points. It is on your account. All right, it is in there. I'm old. That's how I know. That movie has been out forever. It's so weird to see Matthew McConaughey now, and then see him then. You know who bought me my second beer when I turned 21 at Woofers and Tweeters?
Don't say
Matthew McConaughey bought my second beer. You know who bought my first one? Basil. Basil bought me my first beer. You're welcome, MJ. Yeah, Basil used to go out and play some pool and drink a couple beers.
Yeah,
But
Basil likes to play pool, but I've never seen him drink.
no, I don't think he drinks much anymore. I don't think he drank much then. I think he was just being a nice guy, the kind of guy Basil is. So you're very welcome, MJ. But Basil bought me my first beer in August the 7th of 2021. Or sorry, 2001. 2001. I'm an old man. Matthew McConaughey was up at Woofers and Tweeters and bought me my second beer. He heard somebody say happy birthday to me, and he bought me my second beer. Not going to tell you what kind of beer that was because there's a big controversy over it right now. So we'll just leave that one out there. I'm super excited for the High Roller Series. Going to win that High Roller again. Oh my gosh. Challenge accepted. If you're listening out in Facebook land, YouTube land, Twitch land, social media land, MJ has laid the gauntlet out for you. MJ has laid that gauntlet out. He says he's super excited for this next series. He is going to win the High Roller again and be the back-to-back champion of it. The only way that you can stop it is come out and participate in it. It is a $1,000 buy-in, gives you a ton of chips, and you can play against some of the biggest rollers in West Texas. Mr. Chris Gwynn is joining us in the booth right now. You played your crazy hand.
I did play.
Or no, you call it your stupid hand.
My stupid hand.
Yeah, his stupid hand.
My stupid hand.
See, that's the
And it
difference.
would.
That's the difference between me and Chris. He calls 5 deuces stupid hand. I call 5-3 the best hand in poker. He took his stupid hand, turned a 4 for the wheel, and got paid off. He got paid off. So Chris is actually setting just $97 down. Oh, wrong Chris. Chris is actually setting $213 up. Can you believe, Chris, there's only 2 players at the table that are in the negative right now?
Really?
There's only 2 players. You've got Chris Carter. He is down $97, and Mr. Tanner's down $293. Everybody else is
A
up.
lot of people get up and leaves.
Yeah, we did the people who were down got up, but one of the players that got up was up huge.
Yeah.
That was old Woody.
Yeah.
So here we go. Did they already switch the cards over?
They haven't yet. I was just coming back to make sure that we're ready to make that happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. Will do.
Yeah, we're good to go. We have run past our 3-hour time limit. We got started a little bit early. And look at this. We're going to have one of those hands where we've got 6-5. It's going to go down as we go. So a raise to a 3-bet by Chris Carter, I think. Yes, because you just heard us talking to Chris Gwynn, yet he's sitting right there playing that hand.
Yeah.
So this is from 15 minutes ago. It messes with my head. But Chris Carter raises it up. Chris has been getting some big hands, just getting unfortunately unlucky. So we've got King Queen suited, raising to $26. Andrew makes the call with 4-3. These are the kind of plays that Chris wants. He wants this 4-3 in this 9-8 to make this call. So three-way action, $95 in the pot. That's going to be enough to get him positive if he wins it. Look at that. That's how you do it. You just flop a king high straight. He's got king queen sitting in his hand. You're going to see him check this. There's no flush draw out there. Oh, he's not even going to slow play it. He says, I want my money. Pay that man his money, $35. He might get a call from David. David's got the bottom end of the straight. David's looking for a 7 or a queen, but it's not going to be good enough. There's the king. Chris doesn't like that very much because that takes away. Maybe David was holding the naked queen, and here goes Chris. Look how fast he bets. He says all in. If you want to play it, you got to see it. David has 3 outs, and David says, I fold. And Chris now with $508 in his stack, he's now sitting $57 on the plus side. That's how quick that you can flip it. So we're going to go ahead and give him that applause right there. That's the studio audience. We've got a studio audience of about 95 people here today in the booth watching. Giving that round of applause. Actually, we have no studio audience. We have to have a soundboard, so it sounds like we do. But just like that, we've got action galore. We're about to be making the change over to regular cards. No more using the tablet to read it. We've got a full house here tonight. We've got 2 1-2 buttons 1-2 no limit hold'em tables running live at Kojak's. Hand number 50. We will be going to hand number 55. MJ has laid the gauntlet. He says he is going to win the high roller again. So if you don't think he can, come out and challenge him, but it's going to be hard. He is an excellent tournament player. Here we go. We see Angelo reaching down for $6. He's going to raise it up a little 3x bet. Chris says, I make the call. Andrew says, I make the call. Oh, just kidding. Andrew says, I fold. David, king 6 suited. He's going to make the call. Chris Carter with his newfound chips. Going to fold it. Tanner says no, ace deuce, no good. And this is a rare seen sight, just like a chupacabra sighting in West Texas. Skylar makes a fold. You don't see that very often. Scott Armstrong says, I'm going to call 10-9 suited. Got 4-way action. King of spades, 7 of hearts, 5 of diamonds. King 7-5. David flops that top pair. Chris Gwynn flops second pair. And not a lot of help for Scott and Angelo, who's got pretty close to the same hand. Big bet and a fold. Mr. David pulls it in. But moves around. We're going to be heading over to hand number 51. Excuse me. And just like that, Chris looks down, king 10 suited. This is actually going to be our last hand of the night. So what we want to do is we want to thank you all for coming out to Kojak's Live. We truly appreciate, as we said earlier, I've said it 100 times and I'll say it 100 times again. Thank you to everybody that makes Kojak's Live a possibility. Thank you for coming out here playing. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for interacting, never punting. Charlie is my spirit animal. Oh, I love that. I wonder who that is. I wonder who that is. I love that. If you can't, of course, you can hear the smile on my face, but I'm actually really smiling. I've never been called someone's spirit animal, and that made me smile. Thank you so much. Got to be in a good mood. So thank you all, and thank you, Never Punting. I don't know who you are, but I'm watching.
I don't know who you are, but I can relate.
Oh, that makes me smile. Thank you very much. Look at this. Flop comes out. King, King 9. Chris just says, I'm going to flop the world and flop, and I'm going to river the bigger world, and that's a terrible card for Scott. Scott now has 9s full of kings, and Chris has kings full of 9s. That is not the card you want to see. Scott bets out $30, and you can see right here, Chris is grabbing raisin chips, and that's going to tell Scott exactly where he is. Scott is very, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday. Never punting. I'm so lost right now. I'll see you tomorrow. I love it. Leave me in the unknown. I love it. So we've got kings full of 9 versus 9s full of kings. Oh, you got my mind curious now. Kings full of 9s in Chris's hand, 9s full of kings in Scott's hand. We've seen Scott's fold some monsters. Can he do it? Can he do it again? And he's grabbing the call-in chips. He's not going to be able to get away from this one. This one's a hard one to get away from. Does Chris have it? And look at this. He wants to. Halfway in, They're doing that little, let's see where he's at. Will he get the information from Chris that he's trying to? Last hand of the night. And just like that, he makes the call, and it is pushing all towards Chris. So once again, from all of us here at Kojaks Live, I'm Charlie. This is Miss Nikki. We are thanking you for everything that you do. We hope you have a beautiful, amazing night, and we'll catch you on the flip side. PLO High Tournament, first buy-ins free tomorrow. Head out and see us.